Hey everyone, welcome back to Actor Conspiracy Theories. I am Jordan Woods Robinson. This is the May 3rd edition of Actor Conspiracy Theories, in which I go through and prove a script using only the clues that are on the page. I'm not allowed to use Google. I'm not allowed to use anything other than what's in my noggin and the words crafted by the writer. Before we jump into this, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the script that I just did yesterday, which was from Tell Me Lies, which I got a little worried about because I started reading through it and I was like, oh my gosh, I think this might be current. And but I checked it out right after, and luckily it has been released, so we're good. But I almost didn't get to publish that one, but we did. What have I got to say? Thank you for everyone who's commenting. I love going through and reading the comments and seeing your fellow conspiracy theories. There's one that was posted a couple days ago. I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't considered that. Great. That's what it's about. The conspiracy theory is here so that the actor can prove to themselves what is going on. And once you have proof, you can commit to it fully. And once you have proof, anytime anyone gives you feedback or an adjustment, you can seamlessly weave that into the world that you've created. And you can honor what the director or the coach or the writer or the fellow actor, whoever it is asking you to do. You can weave that in and honor that while still also being true to what you are bringing to the table. That's what we're going for. We have opened our Book from Tape Atlanta studio. We are bookable at bookfromtape.com. We've got self-taping. We've got classes starting up soon. We've got coaching. We've got headshots starting up soon, so lots of really great stuff there. So make sure to check us out at bookfromtape.com. We're also, as I'm saying this, we're right on the cusp, or the beginning of the WGA strike, the Writers Guild of America strike. And I and Book from Tape and everyone here fully support our brethren and sister then. It's not our brothers and sisters over at WGA. And over the next couple months, we are going to be giving away some free workshops, some free training, some free opportunities for actors who are looking to keep the grind going, even though some of those union projects might be slowing down just a little bit. I think that's all I got. So without further ado, let's jump in. The name of today, I have not seen the script before. I do know the project, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. So sensitive content warning. This is about teenagers. There's probably going to be some cursing in here. And also they're talking about, there is a dying girl. They're talking about end of life for one of these teenagers. So I don't know anything else, but that content very well could be a part of this. And with that being said, let's go. Here we go. Now, I do know, I did scroll through it. I didn't read anything, but I do know that the audition technically starts here. So I'm going to start there, and then we're going to read up above it if we need to. So starting with Madison. Oh, my God. Are you guys making one of your movies right now? Oh, okay. So this is like an inner thought process. What? Where did Madison come from? She is leaning against the chain link fence, beaming at them. All three boys stare at her. Greg in horror, Earl in confusion, Derek with undisguised appreciation. Oh my God, I'm on set right now. I can't handle it. Action, cut. This isn't a movie. It's just I've been kidnapped. Madison, what are you doing around here? I was just, letting herself into the backyard. I was just visiting Rachel, and she was watching one of your secret movies, and first of all, I have to say it is so sweet of you guys to let her see them. She wouldn't even let me see them, so I know they're 100% a huge secret. I haven't actually been kidnapped. I know. This is the biggest secret ever. Greg, I'm just so touched by how good of a friend you're being to her. Greg decides that now is the time for excessive modesty. I'm not that good of a friend. No, really, Greg, you're being a good friend to her. No, I'm really not. Are you serious right now? Greg, she told me you've been a great friend. She was probably lying. Greg, hell's wrong with you? Accept a damn compliment. Ma, you want my number one time. Wait. Ma, you want my... Greg, hell's wrong with you? Accept a damn compliment. Ma, you want my number one time. Don't know what that means yet. I don't even, that's what? No thanks. Anyway, I tracked you down because I had a huge brainstorm. Oh. Ma. He calls Madison Ma. Ma, you want my number one time. Anyway, no thanks. Anyway, I tracked you down because I had a huge brainstorm and I thought, what if you made a movie for Rachel? Brief blackout with the words, now you are dead. That's not a good idea. It's an amazing idea. It would be her favorite thing in the entire world. Please just think about it. Greg looks at Earl. Earl looks at Greg like, this is your problem and you need to deal with it. Word. Earl winces. Did you just say word? Yeah, word. Like, I agree. So you agree to make a movie for Rachel. Ah! She clutches his arm. Moose chipmunk stomping. Y'all, I'm too old for some of this language. I don't know what the heck that means. Madison, oh my God, I can't wait to see it. I have to run. You guys are the best. Rolling. That's a wrap. Haha. Is there anything down here that's hidden? No. Okay. Let's go back up and look at the top though. Okay, so now we see where we are. So this is scene 46. It is a movie. We know that by the formatting. Exterior, Earl's background, afternoon. Greg and Earl are having a heated production meeting. Earl is dressed in a makeshift soldier outfit, complete with gun. Greg has an armful of paratroopers. Derek, seated on the porch with a leashed doopy, watches them with disdain. Y'all, I feel like I just stepped into like someone else's like private joke. Okay, Greg. So you're telling me you have no tulip? You're telling me we have no tulips and no explosives? Doopy ate them. Ha, duped. Of course he did. Okay, I'll get explosive. You get tulips. Meet you back here in an hour. Oh hell no! Come on, man. I got a problem set. Me too. I've got like 20. I'm not gonna do any of them. I just have them. Earl ponders their predicament. I'm gonna pitch you on something. Do we need tulips? I can't believe I'm hearing this. Earl, it's a box of lips. Wow, the box of tulips is the entire point. We're going to lose the light. Your brother insists on being in the shot. I'm the key grip. Ulterior, Bane voice. Okay, so this alt is sometimes the writer weaves in a, it's an alternative line that maybe that character could say. So we'll make sure we'll get lots of coverage of this take, and then we'll also get lots of coverage of this alternative. You see this a lot in TV where they might be worried about dropping an F-bomb because with certain rating systems, you're only allowed a certain amount of cursing or a certain amount of whatever. And so there are reasons why they might make sure they have coverage of both lines. So that when they get there on the day in editing room, and once they've looked over at the larger season or whatever, they decide, oh yeah, we've already used the F-bomb once this season. So if we do it again, we get fined. So we can't use it in this episode. So then they use the coverage that doesn't have that. Anyway, so alternative, he goes into a Bane voice, which of course is a Batman reference. When it is done. I can't do it. And Gotham is ashes. Then you have my permission to die. Dad's using the good camera. That dog always freaks me out. This is a nightmare. Why are we doing this? Madison enters. Oh my God, are you guys making movies right now? Okay, so obviously this is an audition for Madison. Not only because it says it in the title of the script, but because the scene starts when this new character walks in. So of course, that's going to be important. So we're going to look at this from Madison's perspective. But in order to understand Madison's perspective, we have to understand the greater world that we're in and the other characters. Why, anyway, we have to look at everything. So there are a couple things, and if you've watched any of these videos so far, you know that I do not have a prescriptive way of beginning this. I do not have a linear, first I look for this and then I look for this. No. I am leading by curiosity. I am saying, what piqued my interest? What confused me? What excited me? What word stuck out? So let me get my little marker poo going. There we go. First of all, so what do we know? I know that I'm confused by this line down here, so I want to go look at that first. Okay. Greg, hell's wrong with you? Accept a damn compliment. Earl, okay, hold up. Madison was trying to say something to Greg. Greg said no. Madison was trying to say something to Greg. Greg said no. Earl, I assumed before this was Madison, but it's not. It's the other character steps in and says, hey, dummy, she's trying to tell you something. Listen. And then the third person, Derek, and I have to figure out, two of these guys are brothers. I don't know which two yet, but I know that they said that. Derek says, Ma, You want my, that's my goat, by the way. No, actually, yeah, that is. And then my sheep is. So anyway, I got pretty good goat and sheep. You want my number one time. The first thing I think of is golf, which is ridiculous, like a tea time. You want my tea time tomorrow? And Madison says, no thanks. Anyway, I tracked you down. The other thing I can think of is that this is slang. Greg, what if Madison's pushing on this a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go down several rabbit holes right here. Greg, you're a good friend to her. Are you serious? She told me you've been a great friend. There's room here for a little bit of flirtation. There's room here for a little bit of, I'm paying attention to you because I like you. And what if Derek is picking up on that even though Greg isn't? And Derek says, hey, I'll give you my time. I'll give you my number one time. Could be. And Madison says, no, thanks. I'm not interested in you. I'm interested in that guy over there. Could be. It's also interesting. I tracked you down. Yeah, she somehow found these guys. You want my... And so one of the reasons why I'm getting thrown off here, and one of the things that we have to acknowledge, is there's so much writing in here that is written in the way that people speak. At least these four people speak. And I think there's a very cultural and regional aspect to the way that they're talking. I can't necessarily tap into what that is yet. But sometimes writers do this. They will give us scripts that are not grammatically correct, and the spelling might be a little bit off, and there might even be some words in there that are, I'll point one out. There might even be some words in here that are a little more made up, but actually how we talk. Where is it? I know one guy said I'm a. Where is it? Trying to find that example. Maybe it's up here. I thought it was down further. Oh, there. I'm a. Okay. Now this makes me think of this actually makes me think of Northeast. This makes me think of, and I went to school in New York, but I haven't spent a ton of time in the Northeast. And so my first instinct says like Philadelphia. Like I'm gonna pitch you on something. I'm a and I don't know the Philadelphia accent at all. So if you're listening right now and you know it, leave it in the comments if that is even close to what a true Philadelphian might say. But either way, there is a regionality to it, which I think is part of, which makes me think that the writer has some experience with that region, with that demographic, with that culture. And it also makes me think that that's one of the reasons why I'm having a hard time truly tapping into this. And so I'm going to come back. We're going to step away from this right now. But something about number one time. You want my number one time? Oh! You want my number one time? You want my... There's almost an implied comma here. Hey, you want my number one time? Right? Hey, maybe I can give you my number. Just once. I won't bug you again. It could be. There's so many ways. I need to learn more about Derek. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. And I'm going to go up to the tippy top because I'm interested about these boys. Because what's going on right now is Madison is interrupting the event that Greg and Derek and Earl are going through. So before I even start looking at the quote-unquote character that I'm looking to understand a little bit better, one of the ways I'm going to do that is to start to understand the moment of the film that I'm interrupting. What is the audience supposed to walk away with? What am I adding to the story? That is big for me. The first thing I would say, if I just had to start right now, I'd say, the main thing that Madison adds to this story is a little bit of lightheartedness. She doesn't take herself seriously. She's super excited about action, cut. Oh, I get to do things. What's this button do, right? She's a little bit of a comedic relief. And the main thing, and also we get to see a little bit of Greg being funny. I haven't actually been kidnapped. But it's actually this section in here where one of the reasons why Madison is there is for the audience to see that Greg acknowledges that he's not being a good friend. That's it. In my initial interpretation of this, Madison's job is to show up and be like, is her name Rachel? I think it's Rachel. Hold up. I didn't see it, but it's here somewhere. We'll answer it for me in a second. I think it's Rachel. I think it says it down further. Yeah, Rachel. There we go. To make a movie for Rachel. Oh, so there's another important thing. The movie's also going to it's going to add on a new storyline here in just a moment. And after this meeting, Greg and Earl and Derek are going to make a movie for Rachel. I assume that Rachel is the dying girl because Madison... Well, I think I can prove that. I think I can prove it in the text. But I think Rachel is the dying girl. And she might have even said that somewhere. But I think we're supposed to see that Greg is ashamed and embarrassed of how he's been treating Rachel and their friendship. And we're going to see that they're making a movie for her, but I suspect eventually the movie's going to come back to, oh, Rachel gets excited about them making a movie for her, and then maybe Rachel will even learn that, oh, the only reason why you made a movie for me is because Madison told you to make a movie for me? Ah, so you're not actually my friend. You don't actually care about me. That's where I would take it. Okay, so let's go back to the top. Greg, Earl, Derek. Do we know who is? They have armful of paratroopers seated on the porch with a leash Doopy. That's a dog, I assume. Soldier. So Earl's in a soldier outfit. Okay, complete with gun. Greg has an armful of paratroopers, which I assume are just those little green army men with the thing. So I don't know why one of them is this massive, like one is a life-size soldier and the other, and then they're just going to drop these paratroopers into frame. Don't know. But either way, they're an amateur filmmaker at best. They're figuring it out. They don't have any, all their pre-production kind of fell short. They don't have anything actually lined up. So you're telling me you have no tulips and no explosives. Doopy ate them. And then this duped thing. So I'm getting a vibe from these three of one of those coming of age stories of, we've seen it, Goonies, Stand By Me, any of the movies with Stephen King. He writes a lot of movies about young teenage, usually boys, but every once in a while there's a girl in the group, kind of like It. There was four, there was the squad was four folks, three of them were boys, one was a girl. But part of the charm of these movies is actually just watching these three people just joke and be fun with each other. And then that makes it even more heart-wrenching when we see them going through difficult situations. So that's one part of this, is that we just see them being boys and hanging out. And maybe that's one of the interruptions as well, is that when Madison comes in, the three of them go, made me think of, I keep referencing Inside Out, but girl. There's something like, oh God. There's an alarm that goes off in their heads where they have to go, oh, we're not safe anymore. Anyway, Doopy ate them. Of course he did. Okay, I'll get explosives. You get tulips. Meet you back here in an hour. Hell no. Come on, man. So we're already getting into some of the language, cultural references of, oh, hell no. Come on, man. I got a problem set. I've got 20. I'm not going to do any of them. I just have them. Is this the first thing I think of, is this a school thing? Is that a math thing? Is this a problem set? Does that mean, no man, I got homework. I've got a sheet of math problems. I got a set that my teacher gave me. I'm supposed to solve this before tomorrow. And he goes, yeah, man, I got 20 of them. And I know they're due tomorrow. But what are you going to do? Are you going to run home and cry and do that? Or are you going to stay here and finish this movie like we said we would? That's my first interpretation of it. Come on, man. I got a problem set. Now, this dash means several things. And it depends on the writer. And sometimes you just have to use some inference. But here, I'm pretty sure that dash can sometimes mean that someone is interrupting you. It can also mean that you lost track of your thought. But for me, look at the difference between how the writer used the ellipses here and the dash here. For me, that dash, and if we were in a theatrical setting, and this is a very common mnemonic in many theatrical scripts, is that when you see that dash, and I'm talking about stage scripts, when you see that dash, that is the cue for the next person to start talking. So this actor who plays Greg has been told the moment that you hear set, your job is to start saying "me too" immediately. And thus, the Earl doesn't have to worry about what he's going to say next. He doesn't have to worry about what that text is. He doesn't have to ad-lib or improvise. His job is to plan to keep talking, but Greg has to cut him off there. So anyway, what that means to say is he gets cut off. Now, does that mean that he got cut off mid-word? Was he going to say, I got a problem setting up blah, blah, blah. I got a problem. Setting is really the main word. Is there another word that might start with set? Settlement. No, I can't think of it anymore. I got a problem setting myself up for success and then having to leave and go get who knows? I don't think that, I do think that if this were interrupting him mid-word, I would want to think that the writer would put 2 hyphens here, dash, dash. I think this is the whole word. I got a problem set. Okay. So I've got my theory that it's just homework. And he said, man, I can't do this stupid movie tonight. I got to go. Which then makes me wonder who's actually leading this thing. Greg and Earl are having a heated production meeting. Yeah. Earl is constantly on his heels. Just being like, I don't care. My dog ate it. I'm not looking to fix it anytime soon. We'll film it over the weekend. Greg is the one who is pushing forward saying, do it. Let's go. We also know that it's afternoon, which means that it is after school, which means that their parents will be expecting them soon. So they already have a limited window of independence as well as daylight. Okay. Can't believe okay. Hold on. Where'd I go? So Earl is just continuing to throw out excuses, and Greg says, hey, shut up. I got like 20. I'm just not going to do any of them. I just have them. This is where the ellipses is, of where he's searching for those words. He's not getting cut off. If this were an ellipses, we could handle that moment differently. But here's where we get to see the ellipses of he's not getting interrupted. He's just choosing. He's lost. He's not lost in thought. He's looking to find the way of getting the thought out. Okay, I just have them. Earl ponders their predicament. That's interesting. Okay. So Earl, who has been playing passive the whole time, finally says, okay, all right, I got a solution. That's interesting, because why wouldn't Earl just say, man, I'm sorry, I can't help tonight? Why doesn't Earl just walk off? Instead, maybe this is, no, stop calling me, everyone. Oh my gosh. Can you hear that? It's like a little song. It's in the round. This is very exciting. Okay, I know from watching the last tape that it's there, but you can barely hear it and that my voice is louder. So I'm going to get closer to the microphone and we're going to keep going like this. Okay, so Earl does ponder their predicament. He loves Greg enough, or he does want to get this done, that he does decide to put his own restrictions aside and say, okay, fine, I'll figure it out. All right? But then he comes up with a new strategy. This is where Earl comes back to the negotiating table and says, okay, back to zero, guys. I'm going to pitch you on something. Do we need tulips? And then Greg says, this is ridiculous. I can't believe I'm hearing this. Earl, it's a box of tulip. Box of lips, right? There's the name of the movie. Stop calling me. My brain is getting distracted. And I don't want to go oh my gosh. Okay. Hold up, y'all. You get to see my whole dang desktop, and I'm sorry. Sorry. Ignore all of this. No, they aren't even calling me right now. It's just ringing. What? Oh, lame. That was lame. And I'm not going to edit that out. So I'm sorry. Here we go. Keep going. Thank you for staying with me. Here we go. I'm going to pitch you on something. Do we need tulips? I can't believe this is back to that banter, the banter of these two guys saying, I can't believe I'm hearing this. This is a box of lips. Come on. We need the tulips are the entire point. We're going to lose this light. Yeah, there we go. Lose the light. Your brother insists on being in the shot. There we go. So Earl and Derek are brothers. There we go. Now we know. Greg is like, I'm not, okay, I'm the key grip. And when it's done and Gotham is ashes, then you have my permission to die. Who's he talking to with that? Why would that alternative? I'm the key grip. That's lighting. Why does he shout that out? I don't know. Anyway, I've got enough here for us to know now that Madison is interrupting this somewhat comedic banter between these guys. They're going back and forth. Okay. Oh my God, are you guys making one of your movies right now? Boom. Huge moment. Terrible arrow. Huge moment of what? And that's why this first thing is what? Everything freezes. Everyone goes, whoa. What the hell just happened? How are we not, how long have you been here? Right? Everything freezes. It halts. That's a comedic moment. Oh my God, are you guys making any movies right now? Beaming at them. All three boys stare at her. Greg in horror. Beaming at them. She's so excited to be here. She tracks them down. We know that from later. Earl's in confusion. Derek with undisguised appreciation. Greg in horror. So Derek, yeah, he thinks that's pretty cool. Oh my God, I'm on set right now and I can't handle it. Action cut. She is so excited. Don't quite know yet. I'm just checking my text to make sure that wasn't anyone that I needed to. No, I think we're good. I don't know what that number was, so we'll come back to it. Oh my God, I'm on set right now. I can't handle it. Action cut. I don't quite know if she's truly excited or if she's mocking them. Let's figure that out. However, knowing what we know later, that she does want Rachel to have her own movie, I do think that she is being somewhat truthful, or else she'd have that much further of a hill to climb in order to convince them later to make a movie for her. So it's in her best interest to not mock them right now. So she's truly excited. I think of the oh my God, the New Jersey daughter in Sing 2. She's just like, oh, it's amazing. I get to be here. Oh, this is so cool. Whatever. So there is that true excitement there. She isn't afforded the luxury of something this exciting. Greg is trying to cover it up. He doesn't want people to know, especially a girl his age. This isn't a movie. I've been kidnapped by your two friends. Like, what the hell? Madison, what you doing around here? There's another one of those regionalisms. Madison, what are you doing around here? Okay, here we go. I was just visiting Rachel. So Rachel lives nearby. She was watching one of your secret movies. Secret movies. So we keep it secret from we don't know how old they are yet. I'm going to assume they're in high school, simply because they're talking about running to the store and grabbing stuff. They might not necessarily have the driver's license yet, but if you're in middle school, it's less likely that people would just make a plan to be like, okay, you go that direction, and we'll meet up later. So I think they're probably sophomore, junior, senior in high school. But they're making secret movies that they don't want anyone to know about. So they don't tell anyone. Maybe these movies are anonymously popping up. But she was watching one of her secret movies, and I have to say, it is so sweet of you guys to let her see them. Why? So sweet of you guys to let her see them. There's the proof. There's the proof that Rachel is the dying girl. Because otherwise, why would they have shared their secret movies with her? I know they're 100% a huge secret, which listen to, I mean, forget what Greg says here, but look at this from the perspective of the three boys now who are like, we shared that with her in confidence that you wouldn't share it with anyone else. And now there's someone standing in their midst saying, oh, it's so cute. And they're like, oh, this is why we don't share it with people. So thus, one of the ways that Madison can really help honor that storyline is just to be kind of oblivious to the fact that she wasn't supposed to watch it and just keep pushing forward, because then that's going to allow the three other boys to have this moment of, oh, I knew that was a mistake. Okay. I was just visiting Rachel. She was watching one of your secret movies. And first of all, look how long this sentence is, y'all. Let me get rid of all these lines here. This sentence goes from here, or from there to there. That is all one run-on sentence. There's punctuation there, but there is no period or exclamation point or anything that ends the thought. I was just visiting Rachel, and she was watching one of your secret movies. And first of all, I have to say it is so sweet of you guys to let her see them. That gives us some clues into how Madison speaks, how she views the world, who she is as a person, along with the, oh my God, I'm on set right now, I can't handle it, action, cut, multiple exclamation points. She is a ball of energy, and she's a lot of fun. She contradicts herself right here, which is she wouldn't even let me see them. Oh, wait. I was wrong. It doesn't say we watched one of your secret movies. She says she was watching. So I was wrong about the boys' reaction to her. She hasn't watched it. She has kept it in confidence. And Madison was over there, and Madison probably walked into the room, and Rachel turned off the TV or covered it up real fast and said, oh, sorry, I made a promise. You can't watch this. So I'm glad I was wrong, because look, this is where we're starting to see why Rachel thinks that they're being such good friends to her. She's being loyal to them because they have just shared one of their top secret movies with her. And she's honoring that. And so she is seeing, and we could almost get into love languages thing here. We could almost get into like gift giving, acts of service, quality time a little bit, that like what these boys have done for her is making her feel super loved. She's talking about how good of a friend Greg is. And he goes, I'm really not. And maybe he doesn't feel like he's showing her any love, or maybe he knows that he showed her the opposite of love in some way recently. But she still interprets it as love. So she's visiting Rachel. Yeah. One of the secret movies. First of all, I have to say, it is so sweet of you guys to let her see them. She wouldn't even let me see them. Hand to God, right? Maybe she's getting one of those looks from the boys. Maybe she sees them, because how can we find a way to have this text not just be something that's bouncing around inside our own heads, but how can we make it be off of the people outside of us? What if she saw that awkward body language and those glimpses to each other that I was assuming the first time around, of like, she let you watch them, and she says, she wouldn't even let me see them. So I know they're a 100% a huge secret. Cool. That is coming off of what she sees in their reactions. I haven't actually been kidnapped. Yeah, no duh. I know. This is the biggest secret ever. Wait. Does Madison think right here that they're making a movie for her? Is this her idea later? I'm going to check and see. Wait, I'm going to scroll down right now. I tracked you down because I have a huge brainstorm. I thought, what if you made a movie for Rachel? Oh, no, this is her idea. Okay. So why does she say this then? I know this is the biggest secret ever. Oh, it's just simply in response to, I haven't actually been kidnapped. So she goes, I know. But I'm not, either way, I'm not going to say anything, right? I know you were just lying about being kidnapped because you didn't want me to know, but you can trust me. I'm not going to do it. It's the biggest secret ever. Greg. And now she's talking to Greg already. Greg, I'm just so touched by how good of a friend you're being to her. Now, this is what I would want to know, and I wish I had the scene right before this. I wish I had another script. Because Greg decides that now is not the time for excessive modesty. Now, this is an interesting action, or an interesting note from the writer. Because sometimes I say this with all the love in the world to writers, but I oftentimes, there are times when stage directions and actions and things like this can be really helpful, and there are times when this can be detrimental to the actor. Because sometimes you get something that says, she smiles. It's like that's not actually a clue. That's a physical thing. And there's 100 reasons why a person might smile. And so actors, when you see certain things that are in here, you have to be able to take them as clues. You have to be able to take them as suggestions of what is going on in that moment, and not Bible and instruction manual of what to do. Because you can smile because you're happy. You can smile because you're angry. You can smile because you're uncomfortable. You can smile because you really like a person. You can smile because you really don't like a person. You can smile because you're trying to get out of a situation. You can smile because you're trying to get into a situation. There are a million ways to smile. Okay. But this clue right here is actually really helpful. Greg decides that now is not the time for excessive modesty, which makes me go down a whole new path of, is he being modest in this moment simply because he's surrounded by his two guy friends? Is he actually a hella good friend? Is he over at Rachel's house, like sitting with her and talking and sharing his feelings, and they're crying together? And is he being an incredible friend? But when he gets called out on it in front of his guy friends, who are brothers, who are going to look at him and be like, what you talking about? Possibly. Is that why he goes down this path of denying her affection, denying Madison's affection and affirmations? Could be. And actually, I think that's kind of a stronger story, because Madison needs proof. She needs proof that he's a good friend. And she just came from Rachel's house. And Rachel, what if Rachel just talked at length about how Greg was here yesterday and he brought me a bag of popcorn, my favorite kettle corn that I like, from the farmer's market. And I know the farmer's market happened on Friday and he wasn't able to come over until yesterday, which was Sunday. But still, I am super psyched that he did that for me, and I think he's just a great guy. And it doesn't seem, there might be a crush there might not be, but it doesn't matter. Madison has proof that Greg is being how good of a friend you're being to her. He's going out of his way. Greg decides that now that is not the time for excessive modesty. And so we've got the excessive modesty, but we've also got that now. Oh, wait. Ha! I've been reading this wrong the whole time. Either way, now is the time for excessive modesty. Whichever. Doesn't matter how I read it. Now is not the time. Now is the time. It doesn't matter how I read it. It still is off of his fellow guys around him. This text, this thought is happening because of something outside of you, another stimuli. And that leads him to go, yeah, I mean, I'm not actually that good of a friend. I'm really not. No, really, Greg, you're bringing a great friend to here. No, I'm really not. And she's pushing back. She's, are you serious right now? Like, this is where she's like, are you serious right now? You sat in her room for 3 hours yesterday and watched Sleepless in Seattle. Like, I don't know any guys your age that would do that. That's above and beyond, right? And if that got out, if Earl and Derek heard that, Greg would lose his dang mind. She told me that you've been a great friend. She was probably, look at this. He accuses her of lying in order to get out of this. So this is what Madison's facing right now, of him being like, just completely denying all of the truth that she is sharing with him. And I think we can make it about the guys. I think that makes sense. The excessive modesty. Now is the time. He chooses. He decides. See, this is a great clue here. That's a great clue. Are you serious right now, Greg? She told me. She told me. Greg, she told me. Look at. That's what I was tapping into. Look at how much she has shifted from this run-on sentence to here. That is now we get a sense that she has something that she's fighting for. She has a point. She is no longer just being like, oh my God, I guess, oh, there's a thing over there. Oh, there's things over here. Something happened. And now she is looking to prove herself. Hey, no, stop. Greg, you are an amazing friend. And that's going to be important to honor the the juxtaposition, the contrast of who she was at the beginning of the scene versus now versus the end. And we're seeing that the writer is giving us those clues right there in the text. She told me that you've been a great friend. She was probably lying. And then Earl steps in because Madison doesn't even say anything. Maybe Madison chooses not to say anything or doesn't know what to say. And Earl steps in or Earl interrupts her. Either way, Madison's not just there being like, okay, well, I guess I don't have to say anything right now. Madison's there trying to figure out what to say next. That is a continued thought that why is he continue to beat her down? Accept a damn compliment. Okay, Greg, how's wrong with you? Accept a damn compliment. Here we go. We're back to this now. Do anything better. So now we know the brother. Ma, you want my number one time? This is like the second thing that he said the whole dang scene. He said, I'm the key grip. Haha, duped. This guy's, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that this guy was under the influence of something. I'd say that this guy is just kind of slow, or if nothing else, just super chill, just laid back. Like he doesn't have anything to add to the conversation, so he's just kind of hanging out, listening. And every once in a while, there's a phrase that comes to mind. Excuse me. That he shares. You want my number one time. I do think now that I'm here, and now that we know that Derek has not been adding anything to this, for the comedic element of this, I do feel like Derek, like this. Okay. Yes, this gives me two clues. Derek is providing the comedic relief right now. And comedic relief happens when there is tension. And so that just proved two things to me. One, that he is putting on his Mac a little bit and be like, hey, Matt, you want my number one time? Right? Like, this is the right time to ask her if she wants your number, Derek. So there's a little bit of comedy there. But that is most effective because the two actors playing these roles have made sure to build this tension all the way up to down here. So that's getting, it's not, it might start off joyful and playful, but as it continues, it's what the hell is going, why are you arguing me about this right now? And that tension allows for Derek to step in and be like, hey babe, how you doing? And she goes, what? Okay. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to get back to my point. I think that just proves that. Anyway, that's what I would get up on my feet and start to explore. No thanks. Beat. Anyway, this was going the wrong way. They just escaped, like there was this weird conversation that was going on, and then this guy just hit on me. Okay, all right, I don't want to be here much longer. Anyway, I tracked you down because I had a huge brainstorm, and I thought, what if you made a movie for Rachel? She loves your movies. And brief blackout with the words, now you are dead. This is, who had that thought? Probably Greg, right? Probably that guy. Who said those words? Probably Rachel. Here's why I think that. You are someone's child. Everything that we think and say and believe is because we've been taught it or because we've experienced it. This pops up because Greg has previous experience with that. Greg has been told that from other people or something along those lines, but he has experienced that. And by the way, I'm still thinking about everything, and maybe you are too. Everything you do and say is something that you have learned from experience or being taught. And you might be trying to argue that and be like, no, I'm my own person. You are your own person. You form your own beliefs, but those beliefs are based off of things that you've learned. You've either learned that you like something or hate something, and that led to you having your own belief system. So everything is based off of something that you have learned or experienced. Now you are dead. I'm guessing that comes from Rachel because it leads to, that's not a good idea. Rachel told me if I do anything like that, she's going to kill me. It happened. It happened yesterday maybe he even asked her about that when he was hanging out with her. He's like, so, when he's actually being a good friend, he's like, so would you ever want to, sometimes we do these secret movies. Would you ever want to be a part of one? And she's like, no. If you did that, I would kill you. I would kill you before I died. And I'm going to die soon. So you would die even sooner, right? They've got that banter. They've got that comedic timing. Now you are dead. That probably means something else. But as the actor who doesn't have any other knowledge other than this one scene that I have, that's what I'm going to latch into, making it about Rachel. It is something she told me, which catapults into, that's not a good idea. Not a good idea. It's an amazing idea. Madison's already ready to argue Greg. Everything that he said has been the opposite of what she wanted so far and everything she was trying to say. So she's already ready to jump into and have the opposite of what he was saying. That's not a good idea. It's an amazing idea. Don't argue me. It would be her favorite thing in the entire world. Please, just think about it. Greg looks at Earl. Earl looks at Greg like, this is your problem. We need to deal with it. Word. Earl winces. Did you just say word? Yeah, word. Like, I agree. So you agree to make a movie for Rachel. Okay. So there's another thing. This is a little more proof that this tension that we had here it's building, does slow down just a little bit because of Derek and his ridiculous question. And then building again up to this point, because by the time we get to please just think about it, we're at this standoff. Everyone is standing there looking at Earl, waiting for him to make a decision. So we have to earn that silence. We have to earn that question of letting him stand there and not know what the answer is. And we're going to do that by building that tension and building that momentum leading up to this point. And Madison's going to do that by knowing that Greg has already been a stick in the mud, so she's going to continue pushing him. So he finally agrees to it, but he goes, word. And you go, did you just say word? Yeah, word. Like, I agree. Oh, so you agree to make a movie for Rachel. Oh, my God. And then now she's back to moose chipmunk stomping. The only thing I got this TV doing a weird thing behind me. The only thing I can relate to this, and I've never heard it called moose chipmunk stomping, but it's this. That's it. And I guess there's a little bit of chipmunk in there. There's a little bit of moose with the heavy clops. I don't know. I don't know what a moose chipmunk stomping would be if it's not that. So maybe that's where I would turn to the internet and see if there's a video of it out there somewhere. But I'm pretty sure that's just her going, ah! That's it. Especially based off of her text. Oh my God, I can't wait to see it. I have to run. You guys are the best. Rolling. That's a wrap. Ha ha ha. And now she's back to her thing, leaving the three boys here feeling like they just got swept away by a tornado and going, what the heck? Did we just agree to make another movie for Rachel? Like, how did our whole lives just change in the past 2 minutes? That is now ready to get up on its feet. As Madison, it's ready to explore. It's ready to get up on your feet and explore that who she is in the beginning, which is, hey boys. I mean, that was an exaggeration, right? But this energy, I'm so excited. Like true energy of here. I'm here. This is the coolest thing ever. I can't believe I'm here. Rachel told me about this. This is the coolest thing. Yes, she did. She did tell me about this. And you are a good friend. Why are you fighting me right now? Well, anyway, I think you should make it. That's why I'm here. Are you going to do it? You're going to do it? Ah, I knew it. Okay, I have to go, but I know you're going to do it. See how we just had this? So we can see that momentum. We can see the roller coaster in this. And now that gives us something to get up on our feet and play with because that lives in the body. None of this is meant. Look how physical she is. Look how much she's doing that is based off of what the other three guys in the scene are doing. Look at what she's doing that is vibrant. And look at the interplay between these four people, how quickly they're responding to each other and talking over each other and how much everything that you do is affecting me and everything I'm doing is affecting you. There's so much of that in the script. So this is where I'd get up on my feet and say, yeah, cool. I proved it enough to get up and go. So it's interesting. There weren't a ton. I still don't know culturally where they're from. That's where I would go next to see if I could start to figure out if there, but there's no geographic location. There's no, there's nothing to go off of there. So other than having an actual cultural association and knowing just by happenstance that, oh no, they're in Boston because they said this, I don't have anything else to go off of. So I would just have to make a decision and go off of that until I could prove myself wrong. Yeah, there was nothing referencing the soldier outfit later on, so it's not like she might glance at that every once in a while, but there was nothing that she said that was a joke about the soldier outfit or anything like that. He's got a gun. Nobody says anything about that. Armful of paratroopers. So for the most part, it really is just an exploration of seeing these four individuals meeting up and how their individual energies bounce off each other. Cool. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Actor Conspiracy Theory, and I will be back tomorrow with another Actor Conspiracy Theory. I'll see you in the next